Hello, welcome to mine and Chelsea's experiential game design of Terrifying Tales. This is our menu, but I still wanted to show off. I really like it. I made this cool little kind of logo where it kind of looks like it's glitching because it's supposed to be based on a camera. The story is obviously based on I found a digital camera in the woods. It's the creepypasta Terror Cup submission. Um, so you go in, you've got this text. So obviously, we took a lot of inspiration from oh god, what's it called? We took a lot of inspiration from Fears of Fathom. That's the game. So you go into this like opening area. So this was my original layout. Chelsea set dressed this original layout. But it's kind of like an open area. The first thing you see are this glowing circle, which obviously the player's gonna want to find out. But you actually start staring at this camera. When you approach it, you've got press E to pick up, and you pick it up. And I knew how to do that, but the player doesn't know how to do that. Next thing you want to explore is what is this? So you press right mouse button to aim camera, okay, aim, and left mouse button to take a photo. And then there's more feedback here. So you've got the gallery, G is updating, and you go in it and there it is. The gallery has updated with that initial photo. So you don't know you have a gallery to begin, you don't really know what's going on, but the camera, you walk up to it, it tells you to pick it up. You walk in here, it tells you how to take the photo. You can actually only take this photo one time. It doesn't register after that first photo taking experience. But yeah, so obviously you'll notice that the photos in here, these are real life photos. We took them from the creepypasta. So obviously the story that we're doing is kind of a twist on it. I mean, it's not, but it is. So the original stories, I found a digital camera in the woods, and they look through the gallery, and there's a lot of creepy photos. The further you go in, the more like terrifying they are. So we've done it as the player is they found the digital camera and they're actually recreating what happened. So they can't look further into the gallery until they've taken the photos themselves. Like the image isn't found, they can't see what it is. They take the photo and now they can see it. But yeah, so you've got this aim, you've got the camera flash, that was set up by me. You got this pickup, it's actually like a generic pickup that I blueprinted. Oh, there it is, I broke it. Widgets are difficult in Unreal. I'm telling you that right now. These widgets are but yeah, so you've got the text. This is kind of how Fears of Fathom do it. So they've got the kind of spaced out thin text just on the bottom of the screen. Not too invasive, it's supposed to disappear. But yeah, you've got this nice open area. It's not too intimidating to begin with. You know, you're starting off the narrative of, oh, look, there's a camera. Oh, I can take photos. And then the only way you can possibly go is this open area, and you see these more of these photo spots, and it's quite intuitive for the player to be like, okay, I follow these and I take photos, and then I can see the updated gallery. Obviously, this second photo already, if you really look closely, there is someone creeping. So it is on the player whether or not they recognise these things. I think me and Chelsea, we had to look at the photos like 5 times before we actually realised what was wrong with them. But yeah, you're kind of guided by the player. So the footsteps and the animations. Did that painstakingly by going through the animations in their blend spaces and adding the audio cues to each step. Yeah, the little camera clicks, the gallery updating. This is also my own image. I drew it myself. It's not very realistic, so it doesn't necessarily fit with the photos being taken. But finding like copyright-free images with the back of a camera is surprisingly difficult, which is also why this one on the screen on the left, that's also mine. But yeah, so the player's kind of guided, and the more they look at the photos, the more they're like, okay, this is a little bit creepy. They're kind of catching on to, like, you know, they found this camera, and the images aren't found, and then suddenly they're revealed. The gallery's updating, like they've found another part of the lore. And yeah, we tried to recreate the areas as best as possible with what assets we could find. And it's here that it starts to get a little bit more freaky. with things like jump scares. Um, that's my AI. We found some really cool like scary assets, and I tried to I tried to hook them up to AI, and they do just follow node points here. I've got them so that they play a sound as soon as they see the player, they play a sound, they go to their nodes. There's no interaction just yet with them. They're more of like a, oh, what is that, as it like runs past. Oh yeah, this was kind of intended to like block off the player, which is why I never got like. I think I actually made that then. No, I didn't. Like, there's no way back now, so they can try, but they're not getting back there. But yeah, they've got this kind of cool area, but they are more trapped in now. And this is where the pace does begin to pick up. So obviously it's been quite slow pacing back there, and then you get to this point and it picks up with more with more jump scares, with more photo spots, with more to do. And then this jump scare, he's still there. No, he's not. He is supposed to chase you. He starts off over there. But for some reason he ends up in the floor. I tried my best, but I've never done AI in Unreal. I've only done it in Unity. So it didn't work out the best. But if anything, it adds to the horror. Because if anyone's replaying this, I guarantee you they're gonna get shocked every single time. It scares me every single time. But yeah, so you've had this moment here of a jump scare, and you see them running, and then a sound, and then you're caught by one of them, and that creepy image. The player's on edge, they're quite scared. They're like, okay, what on earth is going on? There are consequences to running into them, like they can grab me, but I'm not dead, so it's not that bad. And then again, the pacing kind of slows down. So originally, these were supposed to be 4 separate levels. You'd have the beginning area with more text, more introduction, not so much horror. And then the forest where it would maybe have a singular jump scare. But instead, because of scope and timing wise, that kind of had to change a little bit. And yeah, this is another like blocking off the player. So obviously the intention, again, it was supposed to be separate levels so they couldn't go back to these areas. Instead we had to make do with, they pass certain boundaries, they can't go back anymore. And that was also supposed to be, so these photo spots, I don't know if I took all the photos there, I probably did. But they only update with the photo spots that you take the photos in. So if I make my way up this tower, and I skip this one, but I take this photo here, so you've actually skipped that photo spot there, so you never relived that moment specifically. And then obviously you see this guy. He's supposed to play some sort of sound and chase you, but it doesn't work. Again, my AI isn't great. In future, I would like to be able to spend more time on that, but I just didn't have the time for the scope that I wanted to do with all of the blueprints. But yeah, so you're reliving the story. It's prompting you to check what you've discovered so far. You can see the creepy images, with creepy figures in the images. And then obviously that last photo, it's supposed to be there, and that photo spot didn't work. That one there was buggy from the get-go, but basically when you take that photo right at the top, that's when that one spawns, and it's supposed to be an auto photo take, so the player's running, they run through it, and it reveals the photo and the camera flashes. Instead it doesn't work. I had limitations on time that I could do the blueprints and my ability for blueprinting. In future, I would really enjoy to get this like photo taking thing working fully. Like, you go in the spots, you've got the prompt, you take the photo. But yeah, so this, you can't feel the suspense because I'm not playing through it properly. I'm talking you through it. This is supposed to be, you run down the tower, like you're kind of terrified, you're running over here, you're like, okay, I got out the dangerous area, okay, I'll take another photo, I guess. Then you start going down here, and you'll notice there aren't any more photo taking spots, and it kind of puts you on edge a little bit. there is also press shift to run at the bottom of the screen. Obviously, it's broken at the moment because of the photo spots. But this guy is set to run a little bit faster than you until eventually he catches you, and you play your death animation, and you cut to the credits. The credits are probably one of my favourite parts of this as well. It really links the credits to the game story as well. So obviously this next person's died. They've lost this camera as well now. And it deletes the images again off of the camera. So you can play through this again, re-find the images, relive the story, slightly varied because of my very unique AI. I think those are just the risks of having AI. But yeah, we try to keep this on theme with the photo taking. So you've got image not found. It's based on, I think it's called Doki Doki Literature Club. It's a let me double check that real quick. Doki Doki, yeah, it is. It's a visual novel horror, and it's also about photos and stuff like that. I didn't fully play it through it myself. Chelsea played through it. She explained like the concept to me. But I watched the credits, and they were done in this style where in the corner here there'd be a bit of code, and then it would delete the image, and it deletes like the whole game itself at the end and closes it down. But I did animations in the UI to make it scroll and delete the images as it goes and replace them with the not found images. I would like to do this in more of a glitchy way. So if I had more time on this project, I would have done it more in a kind of like the image flashes, it comes up not found. So it actually looks like it's disappearing, not just like snap disappeared. There is something else I'd like to do as well, actually. I really wanted to hook up the credits with the photos that the player took throughout the journey. But hooking UI and blueprints up was a nightmare just to get the gallery to work. In the end, I didn't want to do that. Well, I did want to do that, I just couldn't do it. You know we had to include another jump scare. You just had to include the other jump scare. But yeah, overall, I think this game did work out well. It's got quite slow pacing. You know, it takes about 10 minutes to play through the game, if like when going at the intended pace. You've got calm moments where you're looking through the gallery. It's like, oh, what is this? But nothing's happening. And then you've got the jump scares where there's not actually any real consequences, only minor ones that don't really affect you playing through it. And then you calm down again as you get to this stretch of quiet. You've got that intense, small intended chase that nothing ever happens, and then it's like, okay, I got out of that experience just to be immediately followed up with an actual chase where the game itself is telling you, you know, you want to hold shift and run. So yeah, I think pacing-wise, working on suspense for this, like the suspense does build up a little bit. The more you interact with these creatures, the worse it gets, until eventually you're killed by it at the end. Whilst also having the narrative of finding those photos as you go through the game and seeing them update in the camera, like real time. I think it was a pretty successful horror game. And I can tell you this for nothing, every time I play it, it does scare me. Because those jump scares they never play when you think they're going to play, I can tell you that much. But yeah, I'm proud of this game. I'm proud of what was achieved. You know, I worked more on animations and blend spaces in Unreal. I've never really done audio before, but I worked on the audio. UI-wise for the gallery, that was intense. That wasn't just like scrolling through images. I set that up in like 5 minutes, just scrolling through images. But getting them to update alongside real-time events, horrible. Unreal's UI widgets, they do not like to play with actors on classes and stuff like that. Not at the level that I'm working at anyways. But yeah, so it would be, with the credits, having the photos update with the photos that were actually taken would have been really cool. But we had to do the credits in a separate scene. And that's what made it difficult for the camera, because I don't know how to do save functions. I had to look into it, someone explained like game instances and stuff like that to me. I tried for quite a while and I could not get that gallery to save the images that were done. the only way I would have been able to do it is if I did it on the same level as when you died. But I wanted that. I don't know. I just wanted it. I needed it in a separate level. I can't remember what actually happened with that, but it did need to be in a separate level for those credits to work. But yeah, there are minor details that I would like to change. Small bugs like text not disappearing off screen when it's intended to. But I do think this turned out pretty well. I did put a lot of effort into this. And yeah, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my horror game.